Hello there, YouTube. I'm Witcher21, and on today's rolling review, we'll be looking at Super Mini-Pla, Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger, Daizyujin. And honestly, it's just splendid. The box, I have to go into quite a bit of detail on how well just they went into making it. One, it's one entire gift set of all 5 parts. You see the actual finished product here in black and white. Very cool, very symbolic. You have the tribal coin, you have your senshi, you have the actual formations that it can become of Daizyujin and Dino Tanker here. You have the actual helmet of the suit used in the show. Just more logos. The back here shows your actual separate individual pieces that still become Daizyujin in their Mini-Pla-like form. And then you also have the helmets of the Rangers in a lineup. And the one thing I like about it really is the fact that it really reminds me of the MMPR movie poster, the original one from like 95, and I just overall enjoy it. Now, since this is the top of your box, this is where you're going to open it, and here are all 5 of your parts. 1 is Tyrannosaurus, 2 is Mammoth, 3 is Triceratops, 4 is Saber-Toothed Tiger, and 5 is now your Pterodon. Cool thing about it is each of the boxes, their individual boxes, have the same box art, and we'll just get into that in just a minute. All I gotta do is just slide one of these suckers out. Now, as I was saying, you have your box, which now shows a full-color version of the actual Mini-Pla. You still have your helmet, you still have your Rangers, you still have your logos telling you what the hell you just purchased, as well as on the side, another color view of the profile of the helmets, the tribal logo that we've already seen. The side here features all of their stats, which is interesting. Like the Tyrannosaurus is 45 meters in length, 27 meters tall, weight is 96 tons. And it has the Tyrannosonic. You have the Mammoth, which is the Moth Blizzard, Triceratops Cannon, Beam Vulcan, Beam Cannon. Now, the thing is, each of their stats do vary. Like, the Mammoth is actually the heaviest, even though it's one of the smaller ones, as well as the way that the freaking Triceratops... Actually, no, the Triceratops and the Saber-Tooth are the heaviest, then it's actually the Mammoth, then it's Tyrannosaurus, then it's your Pterodon. The weird thing, though, is I think it leaves the stats for Dino Tanker and Daizyujin here on your back, which is saying that the length of Daizyujin is 41.7 meters, its weight is actually 570 tons, its weapon is the Dinosaur Sword, God Horn, and the Mammoth Shield, and then you have the Dino Tanker, which stats show that its length is 52.8, its height is 24, its weight is 557 tons, and its speed is 300 kilometers per hour? I don't know what the H stands for. And the weapon is the Beast Tank Cannon. So honestly, there's a lot of cool things put into the box art. The fact that it includes the stats for the actual mechas in the show, as well as its combined forms, is just superb. Now here we have Super Mini-Pla Daizyujin assembled. And as one can see, it has all 5 pieces, all 5 dinosaurs, all 5, prehistoric creatures, since technically 2 of them aren't actually really dinosaurs. First off, as one can see, the pterodactyl still features the effect to hold the mastodon cannons on its actual tail fin, and it's pretty cool, it's pretty unique that it's always been able to do that, but it's just really cool how they tried to shoehorn in the feet ever since the original series. You also have the wings that are collapsible for when it needs to be in the Dino Tanker form, as well as the chest piece for Daizyujin itself. Now, the one thing that's really interesting is the fact that, for being based on the Zyuranger, which is the pink one, it's mostly a red piece. I've never really understood that the only pink is the stickers on the interior of its torso, or I should say its back, as well as its head. I don't know. I mean, that's just a thing that's always kind of irked me. But, whatever. Give and take. And the wings sometimes don't fold up perfectly. You gotta, sometimes switch them around and flip them around just to get them nice and snug for when the combination's gonna happen in a few seconds or so. We have our Triceratops, which is amazing. It's great. It looks a lot like the deluxe one, and the fact that, its horns can actually move is really impressive. Now, it doesn't have the toe cables like the Solo Chogokin, I think, does, but it's still very nice. You can see that most of it requires stickering for its interior design on the legs, as well as up here where its cannon is. It actually rotates the pieces to fire off rounds on your opponent. It can rotate up, and it has the little sticker cod piece for its kneecap, as well as this part right here is the junction point, where you have to pull out and unfold it to attach it to your Tyrannosaurus. Very nice, very different than the deluxe toy, where it just clips right in, almost Voltron-esque. And it's pretty cool, you know, the head still has articulation, and we'll have a little added articulation a little bit later on for an ankle joint. Now, our saber-toothed tiger is kind of a little lackluster. It's kind of a little dull. I think that the bright-ass yellow kind of hurts this toy. Like, it's dull in some parts, but also feels bright in a lot of other areas, especially with how the light hits it. Now, the one thing I specifically hate about it are two of the hind wheels on the back of its legs aren't even wheels, they're stickers. And they kind of peel off. They don't really stay on too well, and it kind of irks the hell out of me. And that just annoys the crap out of me. The fact that its upper torso giant wheels actually rotate is pretty cool and unique. The fact, like I said, it actually has this huge-ass wheel to be the tank form. Very awesome. I don't think the deluxe one really can do that. I think it's just a molded piece of plastic with wheels underneath it, to be honest with everyone. The head is actually a little bit dual-jointed. This one can actually up and down, as well as curve for its foot, as well as the actual tiger teeth can rotate up, and similar to the actual deluxe one, as well as the Triceratops, its tail can fold up and become a gun unit, as well as the kneecap, and here is your little piece that unfolds to make your junction point to combine with the Tyrannosaurus, which is really unique and cool. You also have the Mastodon, or I should say, Zoo Mammoth, and it's really cool. I like it. It's different. Honestly, it is much different, due to the fact that it's cast in like 3 different types of grays, as well as blacks, and I feel like it's not the same as the deluxe one, because the deluxe one I think was all cast in black, where this one has like a nice gunmetal finish for its head. Then you have your black and your basic silver gray to represent the metallic titanium-like areas on the Zord or the mecha, and I do like it. The nose does not really have any posability like it does on the deluxe toys or any other versions out there, but it kind of just plugs in there via a ball joint, and it just loosely moves up and down. Not much is all there, and the same process on transforming it into arms is the same. It's literally just unfolding the entire back area of the mastodon or mammoth. Our Tyrannosaurus is probably the most articulated out of all of your mecha, due to the fact that its legs double as the thighs of the Zord itself, or Daizyujin. The tail is 2 joints to collapse inwards to have the accuracy of the deluxe formation. The arms actually rotate up and down, and your torso can go side to side. And that's really incredible. I'm just a little shocked that they couldn't make the jaw be able to unfold. I just find that a little annoying. And one thing I gotta tell people is that this sticker may tear easily, so there's like a little notch in mine, because the paper is looser, but the glue is a lot stronger. And when combining it, it's actually a giant mess, due to the fact that you have to disassemble the entire head at times for the formation of Daizyujin, and then you have to plug it in here. Now, that's one thing that's annoying, and the next part that's really annoying is to become the Dino Tanker. You have to take out the core piece here to plug in your shield, and honestly, that is kind of tedious, just to become the Dino Tanker each dang time. Now here we have our Dino Tanker, or the just Megazord tank mode, as the Power Rangers series used to like to call it. And it's pretty spot on to the actual deluxe toy. It looks good, it's pretty decent. Not really solid of a formation, due to the fact that the thighs of the Tyrannosaurus are on ball joints, and from when one's looking at it at a side view, you can see it kind of tilts and teeters due to how the actual legs form in this formation, as well as balance off of the tail. Now, just looking around at the entire 360 view of it, it's pretty darn accurate, you know what I'm saying? You can't really change this form by much, and it's really interesting. Now, because the wheels are on the legs, it makes a weird screeching sound at times when rubbing off of, smooth surfaces, like my desk right now. So, honestly, I don't expect many to put it in this formation. However, I do expect some people to either display it if they actually bought doubles of this thing, or most likely if they even bought a double of this thing, they painted it black and gold already to represent the black and gold edition. Overall, pretty good. I like it. It holds a little bit more better than the actual deluxe one, especially due to the fact that how the pterodactyl clips on is by friction and kind of like a socket area right here, and it holds pretty dang well. It doesn't really slide off unless you pull it straight off. And now we can go right into our Megazord formation, which is pretty simple. Just like in the dang show itself, you just raise the SOB up. And here we have Daizyujin with his multiple points of articulation as a model kit and action figure. One thing I can say is I like the fact that they do give you hidden ankle joints that can be doubled as a regular straight-on, original version of it, just with elbow articulation, where you don't need to have the ankle joints, but it does help you with balancing the mecha, as well as giving you more range of articulation. You also have knees, you have hips, you have elbows, wrists, and shoulders. So that's one cool thing. I like the fact that it does have quite a wide range. It's very mix of, high grade mixed with Super Robot Chogokin mixed with Soul of Chogokin. It's a very unique model kit thus far. I really enjoy it, and I really do like how well it represents probably, like I said, the Deluxe Mecha and the Soul of Chogokin all in one. Now, I do have a few displeasures or displeases with the actual series or the Super Mini-Pla model kits, and that's because the first off, I should say, is they actually are built on a normal sprue, similar to high grades, not basic Mini-Pla, so you need to clip them off with clippers, use a file or X-Acto knife to shave off the leftover plastic, and I wasn't too keen on that since it's called Super Mini-Pla. I didn't expect it to be that banned. I was like, hey, we can't market this in a regular one single box, so we're going to break it up into multiple box sets and pretty much say, hey, it's Mini-Pla, come buy it. So, I guess that's just the thing about being a Western fan. Probably, a lot of, Japanese fans are already used to stuff like that, where they can't market it, say, because it's, not a Gundam, so they just throw it in Mini-Pla boxes. That's probably just a difference in, Western and Eastern fans. As well as, I'm not really a fan of the fact that I have this weird OCD where I want an accurate version of our mecha and sword, where it's, based on the one that we see on screen with the suit actor. Whereas most of the releases thus far is either based on concept art, the toy, or whatever the hell they're intending it to be. Because in the show, the sword's a lot shorter when it's used by the suit actor, as well as the chest is not so protruding out and robust like it does in any of the versions of the toys. Like the Super Robot Chogokin got that aspect right, but it didn't get everything right. But that's just me personally. So you plug in the sword, and then you just plug in your shield. And overall, you got a nice freaking model kit. You got a nice figurine that you can have displayed with your flip heads from the original 93 era, or your monsters from the 93 toy line, or even today now with Figuarts, or other versions of Power Ranger figures, whether they be from the Legacy line, or so on and so forth. As well as, the fact is, modern day Mini-Pla standards, Kyoryu is just a quarter of an inch or so taller than the freaking Super Mini-Pla Daizyujin, which means, like I said, it's still in around 5 to 6 inches tall. And the other cool add-on is the fact that later this summer, we will be getting freaking Dragon Caesar to combine with Daizyujin or with the separate individual parts to do the other formation. And I love it. I can't wait for it. And I think that fans should not pass this model kit by. One, if they're a Power Ranger fan, and two, if they love building model kits. Do not let it slip by you now. Anyways, if you like this video, like I say, like my video, like my channel, subscribe to it if you haven't, as well as follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and I'll see you all next time.